everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is me, Nicky Sinha, and today I'm going to be discussing a very interesting, but at the same time, a very important topic from your UGC-NET exam perspective, and that is Buddhist councils. All right, so let's start with our discussion. So, in the history of Buddhism, altogether, we have 4 Buddhist councils which have been summoned. How many? 4. Now, these councils were obviously held under the patronage of various rulers, and they were presided over by various monks, all right, or who were the followers of Buddhism. Now, what is the main agenda of this council? The main agenda of these councils was to conserve the sanctity of Buddhism, to maintain the originality of Buddhism, to maintain the original teachings of Buddhism, fine, and also to spread the religion. All right. So, why were these councils conducted? These councils were conducted so as to codify or to write down the teachings of Buddhism, to spread the teachings of Buddhism, to maintain the originality of Buddhism, and most importantly, to spread the religion as well. All right. Let us see, let's talk about the first Buddhist council. Now, this happened when? In 400 BCE. Please remember the dates. They are very important. So, what is the location? Where did it happen? It happened in the Satapani caves in Rajgriha or present day Rajgir. Who provided patronage for it? It was King Ajat Shatru, fine. And who presided over it? It was presided over by a monk named Mahakashyap. Now, what is the agenda? It was to preserve the teachings of Buddha in the form of sutta and the monastic principles and guideline for monks. So, what was the agenda of the first one? The first one's agenda was to preserve the teachings of Buddhism and the rules and regulations which were to be followed by the monks, which is written in a book called Vinay Pitak. So, this was the first council happened so that this could be codified. Okay. Now, all right, let's discuss about the second Buddhist council. First of all, you have to know the date, 383 BCE. The second Buddhist council, what is the location? Location is Vaishali, fine. Who provided the patronage for it? It was Kal Ashok, all right. He was the one who provided patronage. It was presided over by Sabakami. He is obviously a monk, fine. What is the main agenda here? The main agenda was to settle the disagreements that were there between different subdivisions of Buddhism. The council rejected Mahasanghikas as a canonical Buddhist text. So, what is the agenda of the second one? So, as Buddhism started spreading, there were different subdivisions which started happening in Buddhism, according to the location, according to people's preference, etc. So, this council was held so that all the subdivisions and all the distinctions and all the discriminations that were happening in different sects of Buddhism or in different subdivisions of Buddhism could be presided over or could be basically looked after, and to end this discussion, fine, to end the disagreements which were there. Now, the council also rejected this book called Mahasanghika. So, Mahasanghika was not accepted as a canonical Buddhist text, fine. All right, let's talk about the third council. Now, this happened in 250 BCE. Please remember the dates. So, the third Buddhist council was held where? At Patliputra, which is obviously the Magad Empire. The patronage was provided by Emperor Ashok. It was presided over, who is the monk here? The name of the monk is Mogaliputta Tissa, that is the name, Mogaliputta Tissa. What was the agenda? It was to analyze the different schools of Buddhism and to purify them. Ashoka sent several groups to different countries to spread Buddhism after this council. So Ashok was the one who was providing patronage. Mogaliputta Tissa was the one who presided over the meeting. What was the agenda? The agenda was to analyze the different schools of Buddhism. So as I told you, as Buddhism was spreading and as it was being accepted by new kings and new patronage was being provided, we can see some subdivisions happening in Buddhism. So the agenda here was to analyze the different schools of Buddhism and to purify them. What do you mean by purifying them? So you can have different schools of Buddhism, but you cannot deviate from the original principles of Buddhism. That was the whole idea. So yes, to purify them means to maintain the original principles of Buddhism. Fine. Now it is only after the third council that Ashoka decided to send a lot of people to different parts of the subcontinent, different parts of Asia to spread the message of Buddhism. He even sent his own son and daughter, Sanghamitra and Mahendra, to various parts to spread the message of Buddhism. Alright, let's talk about the last Buddhist council. And this is a very important one. Why? You will get to know. So this happened when? In 72 AD, first of all. Where was it convened? What is the location? It was convened in Kashmir. Who provided the patronage? The patronage was provided by Emperor Kanishk of Kushan dynasty. Who presided over it? It was Vasumitra and Ashwaghosh. They were the ones who presided. Obviously, they are the monks of Buddhism. Now, what was the agenda? Agenda was to have a reconciliation among the conflicts which were happening in different schools of thought. So, as I told you, with the spread, with some new people coming in, with new rulers accepting it, there was a division, or there were different schools of thought which had emerged in Buddhism, right? The teachings of Buddha also had become a little bit tweaked, you can say, because new teachings were also being added or new ways were also being added. Okay, now you don't want that. You want to maintain the originality of Buddhism according to the Buddhist teachings, according to the teachings of Buddha. So, agenda here also was to solve the various conflicts which were taking place between different schools of thought. Fine. And it is here that we see that both Mahayana and Heenyana diverged as two different sects. So, it is here in the fourth council that you will see the division of Mahayana and Heenyana happening. That is why the fourth council is really, really important. Why? Because here you will see the division becoming concrete. Even before this, there was division, but this division has not become concrete. But now, this division has become concrete. Okay? So, in all the four Buddhist councils, you must remember the date, you must remember the location, you must remember the patronage, alright? You must remember who presided over it, and very importantly, you should remember the agenda, right? Why was this happening? Now, if you know this, guys, you will be sure to get a question from this. Every year, there is a question from Buddhist Council. So, you will be sure to get a question from this and you will easily be able to answer this if you remember all the pointers which I have just told you. Alright. So, all in all, four Buddhist councils, remember the date, the location, the patronage, who presided over it, and most importantly, the agenda, right? The first, second, third and fourth being the most important one, you can say. Also, I think Ashoka's, that is the third Buddhist council, is also very important. Okay. So, all right, this is it from my side. I really hope that you have understood this video. I really hope that you have no doubts here. I really hope that everything is absolutely clear. If you still have any doubts and difficulties, please feel free to address them in the comment section, and I will definitely take it up. Please address them in the comment section and we will definitely solve your doubts. Fine. You can note this down. You can make your own notes, which is really going to be helpful in exams. All right. So this is me, Nicky Sinha, signing off. Till then, please take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.